everyone, this is Robyn and welcome back to mypinkstamper.com. I'm so happy that you're taking a few minutes out of your day to share it with me. I have a really pretty card for you today using the pretty Perennials stamp set as well as the coordinating dies. We're using a few of those. I'll have the name of everything on the screen with the item code. And if you're in the USA and you'd like to place an order, you can find all of it on my shopping page, shopmypinkstamper.com. Okay, so we're just going to jump right in with the stamping. And I'll get everything coordinated and organized for you today. Okay, so first we're going to be stamping on this. We'll go ahead and stamp on this piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to be using the Stamparatus foam mat right here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start our stamping, and we're going to be using the happy, and then we're also using this little flower right here, and then we're going to be using these little dots. So those are the first ones that we're using. We're going to grab Melon Mambo Ink Pad, and I'm going to grab the word happy right here, and I already have everything on blocks just to speed up my video. I'm going to stamp that right on there. So beautiful. It's so happy. And now I'm going to put this away for a few minutes. And I'm going to grab our Mango Melody ink pad. And I'm going to use this little flower right here. So I'm going to put that right there. And that's all we are stamping on this piece of paper. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this piece of Whisper white cardstock, or basic white cardstock. This is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to grab just a little grid paper. These are our small grid paper packs, and they work with the Stamparatus, or they work if you just need a little small area that's protected. Okay, so I'm going to use the big flower right here, and I'm inking this up in the Mango Melody. And I'm going to stamp it up here. I'm going to stamp it off of the cardstock a little bit. That's why you need the background. And that helps for more seamless look. You don't want it all boxed in on there. Okay, so just 3 times. And now I'm going to put this away. And I'm going to grab my Melon Mambo again. And I'm going to be using this flower now. And I'm just going to just fill in the spaces. You can add as many or as little as you want. And I'll have one over here. We're going to cover up quite a bit of this area right here. Okay, now I'm going to put this away. And I'm going to grab our Granny Apple Green ink pad. And now I'm going to be using this. This one actually reminds me of, for some reason, shamrocks, although I know it's not. But I wonder if you could make a cute creation for St. Patrick's Day with it. I bet you could. It would be super adorable. All right, I'm just kind of filling in spaces here. I just want a little bit of that green splash. I'm going to go ahead and add another one right here. Okay, you'll know why soon. All right, so that's plenty. And now I'm going to grab our Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad right here. And I'm going to be using, let me go ahead and pull these out. I'm going to use this big piece right here, and I'm also using the dots. So I'll grab them both and put them on blocks. Grab some blocks really quick. It's a big block for a little stamp, I know, but just got to make sure I don't rock my stamp. Okay, I'm going to be using the black for both of these, and I'm going to just make the centers of the big stamps with this one. And then I'm going to make the center of this pink stamps with this one. And now while I have this out, the black and this stamp, I'm going to take a little tiny scrap piece of our Mango Melody cardstock, and I'm going to add just the dots on there one time. And that's all of the stamping for this project. Okay, let's go ahead and do our die cutting for this card. I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I'm going to put this piece right here, and I'll go ahead and put this piece on here as well. And now I'm going to take a scrap piece of our Coastal Cabana cardstock, and I'm going to put that right here. This one's going to kind of be up at an angle, and I'll show you why in just a second. I'm going to be using our Stitch Rectangles dies for this piece right here, and the shape dies work so much better when you're putting them in your machine at an angle. You don't want to cut them when they're blunt. It gives them more pressure when they go in like this, and they cut better. So just in case you didn't know that, now you do. All right, let's go ahead and take one of the dies from the Perennials set, and this is going to go right here. And what I do is I just turn it around. I know you can mark it. You do whatever works for you. And now I'm going to take this little tiny flower, and I'm going to put that right on here. I don't even attempt to line it up. It doesn't matter with what I'm using it for. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and I'm going to hold this down and run this through. And now I can set this aside. And that is the cutting that we're doing. And now I have this beautiful rectangle. I'm going to take the little flower right here, and I'm going to take a glue dot. These are our glue dots. And just add it on with a glue dot like that. And then I'm going to put this right in the middle of the flower. Just like that. And you can raise it up if you have a mini dimensional. If you want to add a little more dimension, you can do that. Now we're going to take just a pair of scissors, and we're going to cut out the word happy, and I'll go ahead and speed this part up for you. Okay, here's the word happy, and remember, you don't have to have it perfect. It's good just like that. All right, now we can start putting this card together, but I remembered that I forgot to do one thing, so I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. It's just like you're in my craft room, isn't it? Because I would do this. And I do it all the time. Okay, so I'm going to take the two leaves, and I love that Stampin' Up! Gives extra dies in some of the stamp sets if they're smaller dies and if they have room. And that way, you can just make your projects quicker. So I'm going to run that through. I'm going to line them up like this. And I'm going to add just a little strip of adhesive like that. Make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, and I'm going to just pick up the leaves with that like that. So and if it doesn't pick them both up, which it did, okay, now I can just set this aside for a second. We're going to do one more bit of stamping. We're going to grab the You Make Me stamp, and we're going to stamp the top right of this rectangle right here. So adorable. You just wait. It's going to be super cute. Now I'm going to take some of our multi-purpose, and I'm going to add this to most of the piece that we just cut out. It doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom of the little letters, because it's going to hang over the edge just a smidge. Okay, so I'm going to put this right on here. Just hold it down for a second. And now I'm going to take this flower that we just put together, and I'm going to take one of our Stampin' Dimensionals and squish it on there so it holds it all together, just in case there wasn't a lot of adhesive. And I'm going to put this right here on the corner. And now we have our main element of our card. I'm going to take this piece that we stamped already, and I'm going to add it to a piece of our Basic Black Cardstock. This is cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I'm using our Stampin' Seal. We also have our I'm using our Stampin' Seal Plus, but we also have our Stampin' Seal. There are new adhesives in our annual catalog. We switched over from our old adhesive to this brand new adhesive, and I love it. I'm going to go ahead and add that on here like that. And I flipped it around because I wanted my mango flower to be the top left, but you can do whatever you'd like on your card. This is a piece of our Mango Melody cardstock, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Now we're going to do a little bit of embossing with one of our embossing folders. So I'm going to grab this embossing folder here. I'll have the name of it with the item code on the screen because of course it slipped my mind. Okay, I'm going to line this up, put it in there, and then I'm going to use our specialty plate that also comes with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss and run that through. All right, look at how beautiful that is. If you've never embossed cardstock or paper, you are missing out. This is such a creative feeling to put this together. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for a second. I'm going to take our card base of Bermuda Bay, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and I'll just be folding this in half, and I like to use our bone folder for a nice tight crease. Okay, now I'm going to take the Stampin' Seal again, and I'm going to add it on all 4 sides of the back of my embossed cardstock. And the reason why is because it's embossed, it might get a little wiggly. And I'm going to put this right here on this. Okay, now we can go ahead and add this piece on here. And look at how pretty that is. So gorgeous. Now I'm going to take this element piece and I'm going to use our foam adhesive strips. And I'm just going to put 2 strips on here. Save my little strip for later. Take the backings off. And I'm going to add this to the bottom rightish. It's kind of the bottom right side. All right. And there is my tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment below. I read every single one of them and I love to hear from you. If you're not a subscriber yet, please take a second and hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell. And you can find any of these products directly on my shopping page, shopmypinkstamper.com. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.